So what I'm looking at is just trying to make the, like when I'm looking at optimizing Elite, I want the colors to pretty much just stick as much as they possibly can. And that's kind of how I've been optimizing it for right now, just to try to make it stick with the overall trend direction as closely as I can. I'm going to be doing some stuff in the programming side of things to where it should change its own settings, so it should be a whole lot easier to do. But I want to make sure like the runs are as good as I can make them, so to speak, you know, so that when this thing starts to fall down, it falls down accordingly. And sometimes when you enter into chop areas like this, there's really nothing that you can do about that, you know? So, and that's okay. But I like just to see confluent runs as much as possible. So, that's what I'm going for. So as far as the optimal settings go, especially if you're trying to do a one chart trader with this, I would be looking at changing these CTPB, or the counter trend pivot break, and the price action failure. Those will help out a lot, like on this setting, you know. I'm just doing multiples of 15, to be quite honest with you, for that counter trend pivot break. Price action failure, if you do it quick, or if you do like a 5, then it will look at like what this price action failure is on here. But if you do it like 200, it's going to give it more of like a reversal type of deal. Okay. Those are just a couple quick observations. Then as far as the weighting system goes, I've noticed that personally I like to weight either the counter trend pivot break or the higher time frame stair stepping a little bit heavier than most. So maybe I'll weight that one a little bit over the others, or maybe a lot. But we just want to make sure our trends are staying as confluent with what we really see going on there as possible, you know. So if just by doing that, you can see what a big difference it made during that period of time. Okay. So just look at things like that for stuff to be kind of guiding and directing things. Come down here again, and if we changed it over to from higher time frame stair stepping, if we change this over to this, it's going to look a little bit different. Okay, so yeah, that looked a whole lot different, you know. Now, is that good or bad? You know, I'll let you be the judge. And like I said, the weighting software is going to be getting a little bit of an upgrade. So we're going to try to make this thing really smart so that it can judge it for itself. With weighting it with the counter trend pivot break so heavy, you are going to be looking for getting like the bigger runs overall. Okay. And then you got dead periods like this, and price goes down. So, that thing was, because that counter trend pivot break is so strong, you're really going to be able to stay into the bigger trends when they develop. But if it's not a big trend and you're going into chop, it's just kind of going to give you, well, it's either going to paint white for a long period of time, or it's not going to really do that for you there, But it is going to be looking to filter every single one of those diamonds based upon that trend direction. Okay, so that's just part of the deal. Now, even though that thing was ranked with a 3, all the other settings came in there and still made that thing go up, as you can see right there, even though like probably that counter trend pivot break has been to the downside for a while. So it's just what I'm looking at there, and just to hopefully give you guys some indication of where things are at and the like. Now, is this thing always going to be able to turn on a dime? Absolutely not. You know, nothing really is. So it's just part of the way it goes. You know, like, and maybe a combination of the two might be nice. You know, that would be another option too. But that's pretty much what I would be looking to do in something like this. I really put more weight on the counter trend pivot break as well as the higher time frame stair stepping, which isn't really higher time frame right now. All that it's doing is it's just looking at the zone creation and looking for the zones, the most recent zones, and if they're up or down. That's all that it's doing there. So we're going into the time of day, so I'm going to stop on this. I was just thinking about this and looking at this. So a correlation that I want to just bring up to everybody's attention is this counter trend pivot break. If you have a really high strength there, that will keep you in for the trend direction. It's just based upon higher highs and lower lows type of idea. But then to give you nice pullbacks and things of that nature, I think maybe waiting the higher time frame stair stepping or the zone creation in that direction too, that should help quite a bit. So look at the high strength on the counter trend pivot break and the higher time frame stair stepping. Also look at that type of idea. That might really be a nice ticket. Doing stuff like that in the back end as far as the true automation of all the software. So just keep that in mind, and also keep in mind that you need more than 3 days of data here. So especially if you're just running off of an entry chart by itself. Okay. Make sure that you at least have like at least 10. And again, all that we're looking for, if we're looking for self-optimization type stuff, I'm just looking for it to stay the most consistent with what I see as the quote-unquote trend, you know? Like I want to see good green pullbacks and things of that nature when it's going up and vice versa, you know? So I want to be able to see that it holds with a trend for a long-term type of idea. And the same can be said for the downside as well.